Okay, it says recording started.
It says recording started this time. I really appreciate Rusty being here, guys. We were joking before it started, and I said, let's pray my dog doesn't bark. And as soon as we started talking, the dog was like alert mode. So we had to hop back in again. So welcome to the show. This is our podcast where we look all about children's literature, children's books, homeschool families, librarians, teachers. So Rusty, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
I just can't tell you how thankful I am you're taking time out of your day to visit with us and share with us some really cool books that you've got out
Yes.
there. So before we get started about that, I want to give you guys just a little quick bio about Rusty Austin. He was the producer of hit shows because now he's retired and full-time author now. But he was the producer of hit shows like Nanny 911 and Hell's Kitchen. You're now channeling your storytelling skills into children's books. Your new title, An Awesome Bird, the Pelican, mixes playful rhymes with parenting insights, fun animal facts, and illustrations by middle school students. So shout out to those students. Hopefully they'll be able to watch because we're going to talk all about that process too. So Rusty, welcome.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, I was born and raised in Colorado. So a lot of that lifestyle is like weekends, outdoors, camping, hiking, backpacking, and really being out in nature with the animals. And so that's been kind of one of my lifelong passions has been to stay outdoors and see everything there is to see outside.
And I see that in your children's book collection because the themes I've noticed are the uniqueness and extraordinary gifts that animals bring to us. So all of your books, pretty much, the bear, the unicorn, and we have our new pelican, all are inspired by this love that you've had for nature.
Yeah, and the other thing I try to do in my books is the poems are very simple and standalone. So I don't want to go for more than 12 or 15 words or 4 or 5 lines. And I always try to write something about how the animal lives or what it eats or how it raises its kids or, some little fact that I can work in that format of being really short.
And to me, though, that just brings that reader in because they may learn something new. Because you don't just use like, okay, we're going to talk about a deer today.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely designed for the kids. I want to say 3 to 9, 3 to 10, and the younger kids, their parents or grandparents would have to read it to them. With the older kids, it's very accessible to them. And the other thing I like to do is use words that they may not be familiar with. Like, for example, one of my poems says, the caiman has a membrane that nictitates to better underwater see her dates. And so the nictitating membrane is something that goes over their eye to keep the water out. And so I'm hoping a kid will read that and say, well, what's a nictitating membrane? And then go and figure it out.
Yeah, let me go Google that one. Let me check it out.
Exactly.
So totally like educational, ready to be in the hands of readers independently. Oh, I saw something flash across the screen. You got to bring it back.
That was my book.
There's your book. And shout out to the students at Nellie Coffman Middle School.
Yes. And briefly, I can tell you the way that came about was
I have to hear.
I was on a website called Donors Choose, which is like a GoFundMe for teachers. And I noticed a teacher on there locally to where I live in Palm Springs was looking for money to buy poetry books for kids. And so I made a donation and I was able to connect with her through that. And then she invited me to come into her class and read one of my books, The Unicorn Has One Horn. And I read that to the class, and they just seemed so involved and so happy that I pitched her the idea of, why don't we have these kids, and these are middle school kids too, they're all like 12 and 13. And I said, we should just have them do all the illustrations for the next book. And she was all over it. Yeah, so she organized the whole thing, and some of those kids are so talented. It's just unbelievable. Yeah.
The color choices and the detailing. I don't want to give it away, but guys, I have read it. I was so impressed with their work.
Yeah. And one of the kids, his name was Andres, did a pen drawing of a scorpion. And Leslie Snyder, the teacher, told me he didn't use an eraser or anything. He just did the whole thing with a pen. And it's amazing.
Yeah. outstanding talent, and you brought all of that to life just by hooking up a teacher on Donors Choose,
Yes,
which I've
on
been on
Donors
there
Choose.
before. I've been
Oh,
on there
good.
before. Future teacher, retired teacher. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Retired teacher myself. So I remember those Donor Choose days, and I know that you made those students extremely happy to be able to showcase their work and highlight their talents like that.
Yeah, it was great working with those kids, and we had a thing. I had to make a deal with the school district lawyers that all I could do was give them $20 and a book each and a bag of chips. So
Hey, Takis works.
yeah,
Like, you don't know how far those chips go,
yeah,
but hey,
they loved them. They chose
yeah,
all the spicy hot ones first too.
of course they did. Yeah, that's the middle school life,
Yeah,
right? So talk to me too about your poetry. Like, have you always been writing poetry, or is it?
yeah. I've actually been writing poetry since middle school myself, and a lot of my poems are like longer, I would say. So these are some very short ones that I write, and I originally started writing with just posts on Facebook because I read about this book called "Go the F to Sleep," which was a big Facebook hit back in the early 2010s. And I thought, well, I might post some stuff on Facebook. So every now and again, I'd write a little poem about an animal and post it. And then my friend said, you should put them in a book. And so that was my first book, Beware the Grizzly Bear.
Yes,
And
and
then
your
I did,
nephew illustrated
yes,
that one, correct?
yes. And my nephews are both artists. So my nephew
Yes.
illustrated that one. Then I did one called The Unicorn Has One Horn, which my other nephew illustrated.
And talk about that, Goofy Things by Rusty.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're looking this up right now, I need you to listen to the podcast and then go out and find The Unicorn Has One Horn, because in parentheses it says Goofy Things by Rusty.
Yeah.
Don't we need a book like that?
I think all kids need goofy things every day of their lives.
Parents too.
Parents too.
We need a break.
we need something. And the other thing about my books that I do for kids and parents is I put in a do-it-yourself section at the end so the kids can write their own poems and draw their own pictures.
Which I love. It makes it so like immersive and interactive for them to be able to showcase their talents. Yes. Because families may not even know that they have all of these hidden gems within their households, right?
And I think every kid likes to write poems, even just in their head. So that's what I figured would be good for them.
Love that so much. So talk to me about, you said your friends were encouraging you to put things in a book. Did you push that idea away at the beginning and say, no, I'm not doing that? Or are you the type of person that said, oh, I'm on it, I always wanted to do it?
Yeah, it took me a couple of years to come around to it. But then when my nephew offered to do the drawings, I'm like, well, why not? Let's try it and see what happens. And that's been almost 10 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
And I don't sell that many, like 1 or 2 or 3 a week, but it's been fun.
But ultimately it's been fun, right?
Yes.
It's the joy of that. And so here you are. I know you kept a crazy schedule.
Yes. It was nuts.
Yeah. And there was one line I read from you once that said, at 2 a.m. I can be blessed to know that I've had this opportunity, because there could be like 100 other folks, right? I'm just paraphrasing you, right, Rusty? You can tell that quote. But you were saying how just busy your life was.
When we did, just an example, when we did Nanny 911, there was a bidding war between Fox and ABC for the British show, which was called Super Nanny.
I loved it. Watched so many of those.
It was a good one. But Fox lost the bidding war, so they invented Nanny 911.
Yep.
And then the next thing they said was, okay, we're going to get Nanny 911 on the air before Super Nanny. And so our schedule just went from 0 to 150 miles per hour overnight, and just nuts. So I would hire anybody that walked in the door that could show up on time and with a smile. So.
Oh, wow. Hey, I used so many of those shows as teaching lessons for my kids. Like, I would pull my boys around me and I'd say, okay, we're going to watch this so you guys don't act like that in public.
I know. And we
not do that.
Yeah, we found a lot of kids and parents mostly that needed help from the nannies.
Yes.
I got along really well with the nannies. They were a lot of fun, those ladies. Our main nanny was called Nanny Deb, and she was like the supervisor of the nannies, so she would cue us into what they were doing and how we could better show it on our program. She was great.
And so busy life, busy schedule, all of those years, decades, right?
I started in 1988. I started actually on a show Well, I did movie for a while, but then I did Survivor, which came about I think in 1999 or 2000, and that was like the very first reality show that everybody watched and was the big hit that kind of spawned the whole genre. And so I kind of just rolled the wave.
And so you went from all of that unscripted world, busy chaos, and then when you hit retirement and the brakes got put on, did you just say, okay, I'm out in the woods, I'm hiking, I'm out,
Yeah.
I'm doing this, that? Like, tell me about that transition that you
Well,
had.
we bought an RV and spent like 2.5 years just traveling.
Oh,
And
Rusty.
we did live in Los Angeles, but now we settled down in Palm Springs.
Oh, the
And
RV life.
yeah,
So you had opportunities for state parks or
yes,
national forest.
yeah.
Is that what you were doing?
We hit like 30 states and I don't know, 50 national parks. It was just loads of fun. But again, I
Yes.
just wanted to get back to actually having a house and a bed and a place to live. So, but it was definitely worth the 2.5 years. And then when I got home, I was like casting around for something else to do, and I thought, why not just keep writing books? I like doing that, and the kids like illustrating them, and let's just go with it. So then I wrote a book called The Carrot is Orange, which was about food, kind of the same format, only about the food that kids like hot fudge sundaes or peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and like that. And but it's the
And
same thing with
baseball.
yeah. And then I actually did an adult book with my friend Scott, who had been collecting baseball clippings since 1992 or something for the last 30 years. And all the whole time he was telling me, I'm going to write a book. So I finally said, look, why don't you just send me what you have? I'll do the first draft and then you can go in and spice it up. And so we have that one. It's called Baseball's Unlikely a Constant, which is pretty much all the baseball records and resets and very unusual things like, oh, there was a game in 1938 where this field was overcome by gnats, so they had to call the game, and we call that one
Oh,
Buck.
wow.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. So
That's so
that's a really
cool.
fun book. Yeah.
So I'm hearing how much joy you're bringing to other people.
Yes.
I'm hearing that in this
Yes.
conversation.
It's
Yeah.
something that I've done all my life, and even when I was a TV producer, I'd always try to hire as many people as I could to get them going in the business, and so I did have a lot of people, and I would just call them my friends, really, that I just helped to go in. And I would always hire. I like to hire a lot of women because the women were unrepresentative. So, not that I was prejudiced towards them or anything, but if I had the opportunity to hire a woman, I would.
Nice. So, Rusty, thank you
Yes,
from all of us out there for all of your work. And
it's been
now
a pleasure.
you got to talk to me about getting that first book in your hands. So you're writing poetry on Facebook. Yes. How long did it take you to go from, I'm going to take poetry from Facebook and I'm going to translate this stuff into book format? How all did that happen? Because I want to hear that.
I'm going to say 6 to 9 months, because we went through several versions of the illustrations trying to get it just right. And my nephew was so good in that part of it. And he did the illustrations on, I think it was on one of his old computers. Excuse me. What do they call it? A Commodore 64. Yeah, that's what it was. That he got when he was like 7 years old back in who knows how long ago. And that turned out really good, I think. Yeah.
Yes, he was using like paint.
Yeah, paint on Commodore 64.
What?
And when I first got them all, they were too, they weren't, the resolution wasn't good enough. So he had to go back and kind of redo that. And that's what took so long, just trying to get everything on track. But we did finally get it on track and put it into a book. And so it was great opening up that first day. And when we did a book signing in Charlotte, North Carolina, shortly thereafter. So that was fun with him. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to North Carolina, Pete. Yeah, that's where you're sitting at with me right now.
Oh, good.
I brought you out in nature.
In Charlotte.
Oh, yeah. Nice. So how old was your nephews when they were illustrating? So you said he got the computer when he was 7, but like how old was he?
They were like in their early 20s, 24, 25.
Man. I bet they were loving it.
I don't know where he dug that thing out of his garage or whatever he did, got it, but it was very, very a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh man, just to see the pictures of that process too. Like get out, like let's do the historical computer and then what we do now. But yeah, awesome. I really love that though, how you've just embraced it and you're like, hey, I'm having fun with this.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like I said, I only sell 1 or 2 a week, but I don't care. I'm just doing it for right now. Obviously, I'd like to sell a lot more, but I'm also having fun doing it.
Of course, to me, of course, wouldn't we all like that, right? It is a business. Book
Yes.
selling is a
Yes.
business. I have that going on, but I, like you, am having so much joy with it,
It's just
and
fun. It's just really
it's
fun.
fun. It's a way to just channel a lot of that creativity and energy and
Yes.
love of literature and books and people and story. Like,
Well, another thing I've discovered is there's, I don't know, 60,000 different animals you can write about. And so whenever this is how I get inspired whenever I see something on the internet or
get
on
to it,
Facebook,
Rusty.
I'll
Get
just
to it.
I just save it. I'll put it aside in a notebook, and then I'll come back to it. And there's just so many different animals. Like we did one about a Egyptian Uromastyx, which is a
Yes.
lizard, and then we did when in the Pelican book. I'll just show you briefly. Every kid wanted to do an axolotl, so we had so many axolotls,
That's
and
the popular, huh? That was the
then that
popular
was a
animal of
popular
the
one.
day.
And then we did. This is the Uromastyx here.
Yeah, and I actually did not know how to pronounce that, but there's a word on that page that
Yes.
really helped me. So you gave me a context clue.
I make up words, and so the poem goes: the Egyptian Uromastyx is cold-blooded, true, but he's enthusiastic about meeting me and you. So.
Thank you for that tip, Rusty, because I was about to have to go on and hit like, what? How do we say this? And then I heard
Uromastyx. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
And then I saw the word, and the word gave me the clue, and I said, "Oh, this is a perfect teacher book." And what fun to have as a read aloud with kids.
Yes.
So tell me about that. Have you had any opportunities like to just go out and share the book and read it?
I read at local schools, and I have 3 grandkids. I've read it to them. I've been in the room when my friends have read it to their grandkids, and it's really fun. The kids just light up when they see it. And the other thing about it is it's not linear. They can open to any page they want and just read about the animal they like, or they can save that animal that they like. And that's helpful for kids too, I think, to have that opportunity, because
I think it is.
The little kids just can't get sucked into a linear, page 2, page 3, page 4. Their attention span is good for about 4 or 5 poems, and they might have a favorite animal. Like, for example, my granddaughter, who's just turned 5, she was reading the book about food, The Carrot is Orange, and the one that she liked the best was the one about the hot fudge sundae.
So did you have to say, okay, I owe you one? I owe you a hot fudge sundae for that?
I had to ask permission from her parents first, but then they let me give her one. But that's another one where I used a made-up word. I rhymed. A hot fudge sundae is sweet and gooey, as much fun for me as it is for Yui.
Yui. I knew it was coming. Oh, it's so fun.
She was going around calling everybody Yui for days.
See, just to play with language, right?
Yes.
Just to play with words. That's what it's all about.
It's so great.
It is. I truly do. I have truly enjoyed this opportunity.
Yes,
just
me too. Thanks so much for having me on. Yes,
I gotta hear some like words of wisdom for people out there who have these ideas and have family members that they could honor through storytelling, like you've honored your nephews, like you've honored the local schools. Like, what's your word of wisdom to them?
Well, I always go back to a Winston Churchill quote that I heard from many years ago, which is, the work of the world is done by people that don't feel very well. So on days when you don't feel like working, just power through it, because you're not alone.
That's right. That's right. And you make a world of difference, right?
That's right. Yeah. And I would tell my crews that all the time. I know you don't feel well today, but none of us do really. So, or, we often don't feel well, but we work anyway. So just keep going. That's my advice. Don't give up.
Do the thing that brings you the joy.
Yes, exactly right. And then if you're doing that, then pretty soon you won't notice that you don't feel well anymore. You're happy at work.
And you're noticing things more.
Yeah.
So you've always noticed animals.
Yes.
Now that you're out there, you're a poet, you're out in nature, you're out at, out and about. Do you carry a notepad with you, or do you write poetry on your phone?
I keep them in my head usually.
Come on, Rusty.
Like I was driving, I don't know, in West Virginia or somewhere. We were driving out to the East Coast for a visit, and I saw a herd of sheep, and so I wrote this poem in my head. the ram will ram you so too that you, if either finds itself with nothing better to do. And that just kind of stuck with me. And as soon as, of course, I wanted to write it down as soon as I could when I thought about it, because otherwise, if a couple days go by, you probably forget it. So,
I would have forgotten it by the next
Yeah.
rest stop. I would have been like, take note.
yeah, but I have a notes app, right, on the
Yep.
phone and the iPad, where I have probably 50, 60, 70 poems ready to go for the next one. So there's no shortage.
How about that next one? You said there's 60,000 more animals that you could write
Well,
about.
the next
What's
one
your goals?
The next one I'm working on is called The Two-Headed Snake. So I was inspired by a two-headed snake I saw on Venice Beach one time, which is an actual thing that exists. And so the poem goes, I think, the two-headed snake needs to turn left, but wants to turn right, and he better decide or we'll be here all night.
I love that one.
So,
And kids will love that.
yeah.
Mama
Yeah, they really
loves
do.
it. I love it. All right. So these books that you've got, Rusty. Okay, I'm going to do that quote. Goofy Things by Rusty.
Yes.
Fun Things by Rusty. You got to grab them, guys, and just have fun reading with your kids. Bring back that joy of sitting together, reading aloud, sharing books. And these are the perfect ones for your family. Like Rusty, you're awesome.
Thank you. Just let me get in my quick pitch is rustyaustin.com. You can buy them all there.
rustyaustin.com. How
Yes.
easy is that?
Yes.
All right, guys. So, Rusty, I appreciate you.
Yes.
I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your adventures and poetry writing. I can't wait to see what's next for you.
It's been wonderful.
Just thank you for sharing your gifts with the world.
So, yes. Thanks so much for having me on. It's been great.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye.